Or they do nothing, as if I'm just taking a break and somehow the break is going to make me ready. Then they go back to dating, or they get pulled into dating, and you're dating the same old people and you have the same old relationship. Let's not do that. Stick with me to the end, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to get relationship ready. Don't worry about determining, am I there? I'm kind of there. I'm not kind of there. If you're here, it's because you want to get relationship ready. Let's just jump right into it. Let's focus on two aspects of being relationship ready. One of them is bringing yourself into the relationship, what you need, want, think, feel. That's on you. The other part is emotionally and dealing with triggers. So let's take a look at both of them. First things first. In a relationship, this is what your responsibility is. Now, as I'm talking, think, am I there or not? Am I ready for it or not? And if you are, jump in. And if you're not, stick with me, check out my videos, be in touch with me, and let's keep working on this, but let's get your relationship ready. But you have to be able to bring yourself into the relationship, which means, what do you need and want? What works for you? It means that you've reviewed your past relationships, each of them, all of them, even friendships. What works for you? What have you received in past relationships that really worked? You liked it, felt good, you enjoyed it, helped you feel safe, secure, a communication style that you really worked, appeal, interests, hobbies, approach to life. What are the things that you need? That's on you. The things that really work for you, you have to be able to express them, as well as the things that don't work for you, that you want to avoid or that bother you. You have to be able to communicate with somebody. Hey, when you do A, B, and C, I feel cared about, great, close to you. It really works for me. And when you do X, Y, and Z, I feel disconnected, pushed away, uncared about, loved, whatever it is. You have to be able to communicate that and then listen as your partner shares the same thing. Why? And here's the principle. You're not a mind reader. You don't have to be a mind reader. If you ever catch yourself spending a lot of time thinking, wondering what's going on with your partner, there's an issue here. It's probably you've got an insecure attachment style. You're not confident enough in yourself, or you're not asking enough of your partner. Your partner is also failing, and that they're not sharing enough about what they're going through. But if you're at a place where you've spent some time thinking about what are the things I like and enjoy that I could verbalize and say, hey, here's what I need more of, and hey, here's what I need less of, then you're ready to jump in, because you can express that to the person, and then you watch and you see, is this person able to respond? By the way, parentheses, another point is that if I am, talking about red flags in relationship, but if I tell my partner, hey, I like this and I don't like that, and I just hand it over to them, and I find that hand it over means I don't keep going after them, do this, do this, do this. But if I share a couple of times what I need and want and what I don't like, and nothing changes, there's a serious problem over here, because you're not being heard. Being heard is, on one level, I heard the words in my ears, but it's also I'm following through on what you said. If I'm interested in you as a partner, I'm excited to hear what I need to do more of, what I need to do less, because I can't be a mind reader, and I'd like to get it right by you. So you have to bring yourself into the relationship. And that's the first way to do it, which is that awareness of what works for you and the ability to express it, and what works for you and what you like and what you enjoy. And then to be ready to listen to that from your partner and have them express it back. You sharing it yourself can be helpful to encourage them to do the same thing. You can even trade. I'll tell you something I like that you do and something that I wish you would change, and you tell me back. Or one of my favorite exercises is start, stop, continue, because you can use that any way you want. Something I wish you'd start doing, something I wish you would stop doing, something I wish you would continue doing. You can give each other feedback this way, but in that way, you have to tell each other, because there's no way to know otherwise. You're never obligated to be a mind reader. If you are drifting into mind reading, there's a lot of insecurity that's there. It's not going to work. You have to take a look at that, what's going on. But if you feel comfortable, if you spend some time taking a look at your relationships, you can be ready to be in a relationship. It's mind-blowing to me, boggling. I don't get it. To jump into relationship after relationship after relationship, and what do people get? What have you experienced yourself? Probably similar things. A similar type person, a similar type dynamic. It keeps occurring over and over again. You haven't done the work yet to review. Like a business does a review of what's working, what's not working. We have to do a review. Otherwise, taking a break and just saying, I'm taking a break from dating, it's not going to do anything. It's what you do in the time that you take the break from dating. That's what makes the difference. The second part about bringing yourself into the relationship, being ready for a relationship, is what's with you and your emotions? Are you in touch with them? Do you have awareness of feelings? Have you spent some time connecting with them? Have you built up a bit of an emotional vocabulary, or are you still stuck with, how do you feel? Tired, happy, sad, angry, and that's about it. Being in touch with what you feel, having the words, practicing using a feelings chart. You can search on Google, download feelings chart, and practice as you have triggering, intense emotional moments, getting in touch with what you feel. And there are plenty of videos on my channel where I teach people how to go into that, including a video about the feelings chart itself, jump in. It's easy to do, but you are responsible to have some awareness of what you feel. You yourself in your own relationship with yourself, so that you're less emotional, intensely emotional, out of control emotional, and more aware of what you truly feel. This in getting in touch with what you feel, naming the feelings that you feel, help you feel more aware, more secure in yourself, more validated because you're taking the time to tune in, treating yourself as worth tuning into yourself. But an amazing thing also happens. We just don't have the vocabulary for what we feel, but you can build it up. Like workouts. Muscles get stronger when we work them out. Practicing putting names to the feelings we feel also then helps us communicate to our partner, to be able to say, when you do this and this, I feel like this. It's a great way to give feedback. Instead of you come home, you always come late and you're such a jerk. That's not going to work. But the ability to express what I feel. Now, it goes back to what we were saying in the first part, is these are the things you do that help me feel like this. And now the person knows, oh, I couldn't know that. I didn't know that you feel positively when I do these things, or negatively when I do those things, and then I know what to do more of, what to do less of. But you have to understand, you are going to be triggered. You should be triggered in a relationship. There is intense triggering where you have not worked through stuff. You're put back in touch with the partner with very familiar old feelings, and it really is disruptive to the relationship. Nobody makes you feel anything. The people that we attract and are attracted to, until we work through that, are the very people we need in terms of working through something. The person that's around you, bringing out emotions in you, is just the most current person putting you in touch with a bunch of very familiar feelings. That's why working with a feelings chart, again, once I name the feelings, like, oh, we had an argument yesterday, but what was I feeling during that argument? Oh, when else have I felt those feelings? Oh, childhood memory pops up. Oh, this has been with me a long time. So that's always going to occur. We want to work through some of the core basics and build up our sense of worth, value, esteem, confidence, self-acceptance, so that when we're with somebody, the triggering that goes on is more handleable, more deal withable. But you should expect in a relationship that some triggering will go on. And a trigger works like this. There are overreactions, right? There's a reaction, and then there's an overreaction. You do something, and I have a reaction to it, but the intensity of my reaction is way higher. Let's say you don't tell me the truth about something. I'm upset about that. But then I rage, I can't let it go. It goes on and on for days. What's going on over here? Is it an overreaction? Is it a reaction? It's really both. On one hand, basics. I asked you something, you didn't tell me the truth, or you spoke sneaky, or you're hiding something. That's deceptive. I can't be trusting of you, or I'm struggling to trust you. And that's an issue, and I feel what I feel. That's legit, completely legit. But the intensity doesn't fit. My reaction is so intense, it doesn't seem to fit the situation. If that's the case, now that aspect is me. That's on me. There's something about being in a situation where a person has not told me the truth that's bringing out a bunch of very familiar feelings. Maybe I've been abandoned a lot as a kid, emotionally, physically. Maybe I've been promised a lot of things that never came through. There's something about that moment is very intense. You have to work on both levels. Couples will have the surface level stuff they have to work on, but then there's the deeper stuff that both of you have brought with you. When people say you have emotional baggage, emotional wounds, an inner child, that's what this is. And that's where it comes out. So inner deep part, the part that's over-intensifying your reaction, like gas on a fire, that's on you to work through. That's the stuff you want to start to get in touch with before you get into a relationship. But after you're in touch with that, there's still the interaction between the two of you that needs to be dealt with. But you have to pull your own emotional stuff out of it. On one hand, to be relationship ready is that you have to have some awareness of some of these things, some of the stuff that the inner child parts that you're bringing with you into the relationship. Because then when there are disagreements, when there are struggles or conversations that are difficult, on one hand, you'll give feedback to your partner, but the deeper stuff, you'll own that and go take a work at it, and you'll work on that yourself. That's a healthy relationship. There's no perfect person, remember. There's the person who's perfect for you. You should expect that this partner is going to put you in touch with some pretty deep feelings. You want that. You should expect that. That's how you grow. You have to understand when you're connecting with somebody, an intimate partner, you are open and vulnerable. And that goes in two ways. On one hand, we're vulnerable, which means I could get hurt, I can get triggered, stuff can come up. But on the other hand, there's such incredible potential to get validation, security, reassurance, love, affection, validation from such a person goes so deep and can be so healing. You have to expect this. Of course, it's going to be triggering. As long as you own your own stuff, you're willing to take a look at it. You can split the fact that I feel what I feel towards you, what you did, you didn't tell me the truth. That I'm having a massive reactions on me and I have to go work on that. Those are relationships that work. relationships in which each one points the finger at the other person, but no one takes a look at what's going on inside them. That's where you have arguments that go around and around and they never finish. They never resolve themselves. That's the reason why. If you're at a point where you've spent a bit of time trying to connect with yourself emotionally, or you can even do it as you review your past relationships, review your last 2 or 3 relationships, and pick in each of those relationships something that you did not like about that person. Now, recall a time that occurred with that person. Now, take your feelings chart and say, in that moment, in that memory of that person doing that, lying, coming late, not messaging me, ghosting me, how did I feel? You could start to connect with those feelings already and be in touch with them. You can expect that the right person for you is not free of any triggering or free of any issues. Rather, the right person for you is going to work together with you. The triggering will occur, but you'll be able to work together with it. It'll help you grow. That's part of a healthy relationship and to be expected. If you're able to do that, then the relationship has a good chance. And also you are relationship ready because you're ready to own your own stuff. You're ready to get healthy with it. You should expect that there will be stuff. Once you have looked at a person and there's no major red flags, what's left is triggering stuff, but it's not deal-breaking type stuff. It's not non-negotiable stuff. It's negotiable type stuff that's going to help you grow. This is how you get relationship ready. This is the work people should be doing right now. If you're already in a relationship, then start working on it. And if not, jump in and start working on it now. And before you know it, you'll be relationship ready.